Hello, friends. I'm so excited that you joined me today. My name is Dannielle Hutchinson, and I wanted to take this time to welcome you to Artistically Black with me, your host. So I am so excited about this new show that we are bringing to our digital presentation series with Adventure Theater and ATMTC Academy. This show is really for showcasing Black artists who are out there, doing their thing and, get their word out. So I wanted to make sure that I presented myself so that you know who I am and that we can start a conversation. All right. So to get things started, I wanted to bring my producer out. Davinia Shorter, can you join me out here? Excellent, excellent. So I want the people to know who I am so that they'll come and they'll spend some time with me on the second Sunday of every month.
I
So
am most excited.
I am ready to answer all of the questions that you have for me. So let's get real. Okay,
Thank you,
I'm ready.
Dannielle. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's get into it. Oh, Dannielle, I think one of the things that we really want to know, you are an artist. So
I
excited, but
am.
that means so many things. What do you do? What are the arts that you're doing?
Well, okay, so I should have said this earlier. So I am the Associate Education Director for ATMTC Academy. That's my day job. I make sure that the little artists that want to, pursue their dreams, that they have the tools to do that, that they know what classes to take, that they come in and they get the top tier training that we have here. That's what I do during the day. And then as an artist in my artist life, I am an actor. I'm an actor first. I am a company member of New Sass Theater. And I just go out and I make the art as an actor, and then I fancy myself in my spare time, in my so large spare time. I dabble a little bit in the playwriting. I write some short things. In October of, I believe it was like 2019, I decided that what I wanted to do was every day I wanted to write like a 3-line scene. And so every day of the month, I decided to find a topic or something that I thought was interesting and then just write 3 lines about it. And I posted it on Facebook. It was, a couple people saw it. And then, I just put my art out there, and put my writings out there to see what the people wanted to read. So that's what I
Good.
do. That's the art that I make. I act a little bit on the stage, and then I write a little bit. And this session of summer camp, actually, I am helping to stage a couple of the pieces. So that's, I'm making the art.
You're in a little bit of all of the things. That's good.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
trying to be well rounded.
Yes, we love the multi hyphenate artist out here. I want to
Yeah,
dig into a couple of things that you mentioned a little bit. What is
sure.
you said next level sass is what you
New Sass.
new
So it is,
sass.
yeah, it's a female run small theater company out of DC. Their artistic director, I believe, is Aubrey O'Connor.
Hmm.
And we do a lot of new works. There's a lot of things out there that new playwrights that are trying to get their stuff out there is what we do. And their new season is exciting.
Good. That's so interesting. And you're acting. I mean, you do a couple of things. We've been lucky enough at Adventure to have you in multiple Q fests.
That is true. I've done some the digital series was something new, that COVID kind of handed us a blessing. I'll call it a blessing. To be able to showcase some new talent out there. And I did a
A
couple
lot.
different Q fests, a couple Q fests. I did Jingle in July,
Yes.
where I was my favorite role in that series was the Cranky Penguin, the
We love
title
the cranky
character.
penguin.
I mean, sometimes you're just moody, and the Cranky Penguin he's just moody. He's just
And
moody.
still had great friends.
He did. It was rough in the beginning.
It was a little rough.
It was a little rough, but by the end, we were all making friends. So
We'll learn more about that in our season. It's coming back.
awesome. Yes.
Good. And now, so what are the things that you like about being an artist? You do so many different things. You get the chance to be in so many different fields. What do you really like about it?
I really love the way that art allows you to be expressive. It allows you a certain sense of vulnerability that you may not feel that you can share in your day life. And discovering, making new discoveries about yourself and about people around you, and just the connection and energy that theater specifically for me has provided me. It's been an outlet to, if I was having a bad day and I was doing a show later that evening, I could go on stage and just, be in the moment and just kind of let all of those emotions out on stage. So it's been really cathartic in a way to be able to have that. And I love all of the people that I've gotten to meet through working with different companies, with doing different shows, just making friends everywhere and in all of the shows that I've done. So, I just love those things. And I love being in the presence of art. So being the associate education director allows me to be in the presence of the children making art and
Mhm.
learning art and discovering what is out there and just making those watching them make those discoveries is so rewarding, because that there's a generation of artists that are coming up that are learning these things and that are going to take care of theater, and they're going to take care of art, and it's going to survive because of them. So that is like one of the most rewarding things about just being in this life, being in this experience.
What a lovely answer. That is amazing. I'm so glad to hear that. And one of the things, it's so great that you use the word connection, because as
Mhm.
we've been building our new season, coming back live, that is sort of the word that keeps
Yeah,
coming up in the shows that we're doing and how we're trying to build this is that
absolutely.
connection. And I think it calls back to what you said earlier about why you created this show. And I'm forming this question as I speak here because that's what we do.
That's what we do here. That's what we do here. Just
But
let
I
it
wonder,
flow.
yeah, I wonder how you feel connection and art has kind of like brought things together in your world. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that there is a world in which, you've got to see those connections, you've got to see the art, and you just got to gravitate to it, and
Hmm.
it's whatever is in your area. And I think that I don't want to minimize it and say that the only art that I'm connected to is theater. That is the
Yeah.
one that has had the biggest impact in my life. That is the
Hmm.
one that I have had the most connection with, that I've spent the most time in, that I've met the most people, that I've had the most energy in. But I think that it is important to reach out to, all kinds of artists, and have make connections in music, make connections in visual arts, see who is out there to kind of get that, because it's a shared experience.
Yeah.
So, we're all artists may run in different circles, but our experience of putting ourselves out there is the same.
Yes. That's
So,
so well put.
I was like, okay, you formed the question, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get there. I
We're
feel
creating
myself
answers.
creating that. This is what we do on Artistically Black. We put it out there, and then you gotta sometimes talk it out
Yes,
to get to where you want to go.
exactly.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get
We
there.
always get there.
We always get there.
That's a nice little segue because now I hope you didn't think you can mention playwriting without me bringing it up. That's my
Oh my
thing.
gosh, I know
New
that is your thing. I love it. I love it.
new works are my jam. People writing is my jam.
Mhm.
Dannielle, what were you writing? What were these little short things? How was that?
Um, so what I was writing was, so like the first one, I was sitting outside of Ford's Theater,
Hmm.
and I had just seen Death of a Salesman. Um, and I was waiting for like an Uber or something, and I was sitting outside, and the inspiration just struck me and was like, what would happen, because there was a car, there was a valet
Hmm.
there, and I started thinking, I was like, what would happen if somebody came up and said that that was their car and it wasn't, and they just drove off, and the actual owner of the
Hmm.
car came out and was chasing after them. And I was like, I should write a short little piece about that. And I did.
Yes.
And that was, and that was how it came to be. It was really organic in a way of, I wonder what if, which is, it's funny that we're talking about this, because this morning, as I was riding in the elevator of my apartment
Hmm.
building, how you get on the elevator and you're like, I hope nobody else gets on this elevator. I just want to make it through without having to figure out how to get to the bottom, and do I have a conversation? Do I not? Do I say good morning and that's it? Do I engage this person in
Yep.
conversation? So of course I'm having this internal dialogue, and someone gets on the elevator. And so it was fine. We were friendly, and I said good morning, and they said good morning back, and then we got to my floor, and I said have a good day, and then I got off. But it's that feeling of that I thought this would be a great piece of the internal conversations that you have with yourself about daily experiences,
Hmm.
which is what that whole series that I wrote in October of 2019 was about. It was daily interactions. What do you do in these certain situations? What do you do in these small life experiences? Because we spend this time with other people, and sometimes it's an elongated amount of time. Sometimes you only get that brief moment and that brief instance in the elevator, and sometimes those moments obviously inspire my art. But sometimes those moments are impactful, and sometimes they're impactful in a way that you don't know, because you don't know if you saying good morning to that person perks them up, you
Yep.
know? So for me, I try to have life experiences where I am, if it's not going to cost me anything to say good morning to somebody, I'm gonna do it, Um, so that my art is, when I write, it's usually about everyday experiences. It's about um that connection
We're
that you
back.
have with other people. See how we come in full circle? We just
It always comes back.
always comes back. It's about the connection that you have with people.
Yeah.
And if I make this choice, what happens if I make this choice? What happens if I make this choice? So yeah, that's what I'm writing about. That's
And
what I'm doing.
that makes sense to me. I think one of the things when I talk to a lot of actors who are writing, I know a lot of how you are as a person is
Hmm.
infiltrated into your writing. It's just
Hmm.
how you can't escape that. Who you are is going to be in your writing. And
Absolutely.
as an actor, I know you have to make lots of choices. You're always asking, what is the next thing? What's
Hmm.
influencing the next choice that I make?
Yeah, 100%. What? Why did you walk across the stage to
Yeah.
to pick that? Why did you pick up that particular that envelope? How did it make you feel? These are questions that directors always ask you. And I love directors um who make you do the work.
Yeah.
They'll say, okay, well, why did you walk across the stage? Why did you land in that spot? Why did you sit there? What is your motivation? Like, you know, um those are the people that I love to work with. And those
Hmm.
are the people that I love having conversations with. I love talking to artists about what they're working on and why did they do that? Like, I want to know why Davinia, why did you write this piece? What is this piece about? Why does this particular topic interest you? What brought you to that moment of inspiration? So don't think this is the last time we're gonna see you, because we're gonna be on here and we're gonna talk about your art. Because this is Artistically Black.
This is
Uh,
Artistically Black, y'all.
so, it's so interesting. I love talking to people about what they are passionate about,
Yeah.
which is the reason why I felt so strongly about starting this particular show was so that we had a place to talk about our art, to talk about the Black community and the struggles of making Black art and being Black artists, and having a platform for them to showcase their work. Um, I want to make sure that I am helping to further this movement of Black art, and Black artistry, because I love it. I love being a part of it. I love pushing it out there.
Yeah.
You gotta I'm as much as of a fan as I am as a practitioner.
Yes.
I want to make sure that I am rooting for you and getting your stuff out there.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
exactly like that. It's all about coming together, putting things out. As much
Hmm.
as there's so much Black art that's happening across mediums, across fields.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot out there to digest. Speaking of which, my husband is a librarian, and one day he was like, I want to bring a book home for you to read.
Hmm.
And he didn't tell me really what the book was about. He was like, yeah, it's about this little girl, and she goes to planets, and he brought it home, and I read the book 3 times when that night. Like, I read it three. It was such a good book that I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I have to, I have to own this. Um,
Hmm.
I know you brought it home from the library, but I'm gonna need to buy a copy
I
because
gotta go get it.
this is such a good piece of art. It's such an uplifting piece that I
Hmm.
read it and I was like, oh my gosh, every little Black girl out there that I know needs to own this, you
Yeah.
know. And I love that feeling. I love
Yes.
that feeling of when you watch something or you read something that you just, whether you feel happy about it or you feel it makes you think about it. I like that. I like that about art. That it forces you to have some sort of emotion, to make some sort of choice. You know, that's what we're doing out here.
We're making choices.
Making choices.
And I think you brought up a really good point, which is really my next question for you. And it's going to be different with
Mm.
as we get into the show, you'll see it with your guests. But what are the challenges, of being in this field, of being an artist? And that's a complicated question.
Yeah,
It's a wide
that
question.
that is heavy. It's heavy because I think in some areas where that's changing, some of
Yeah.
the barriers are being broken down. But I think in other areas, there was a point in time where there weren't a lot of roles that a Black woman could fit into that wasn't stereotypes, that
Hmm.
wasn't a less than pleasing role to play. You know, so I love that we're moving in a direction where those roles are being opened up. There's still there's still a disparity there. There are more roles now, but with that there are also more of us trying to get those few roles that are there.
Exactly.
Competition is healthy though, um so I think that's there's not enough out there for us. So I think that, but that barrier opens a door for us to make the opportunity. So, I think that that's something that we are working towards. There's not enough of us behind the table,
Hmm.
um, whether it be in the directing role or it be in the designer role of sorts. So I think those are barriers that I would love to see broken down. More of us involved in the casting process, more of us behind the table, more of us hanging, doing the lighting design. Um, and I speak a lot about theater because that's where I spend a lot of my time. That's where my life is.
Hmm.
And that's where my experiences are. So those are the things that I think are the barriers right now. Speaking with authors who we have lined up who are coming on the show, I want to know what they perceive as the barriers for them getting their materials out. Because the materials that I've read over the last couple of months, I'm like, oh my gosh, why is this not everywhere? Why
Yeah.
is everybody not talking about this? So I want to know what can I do, and that's the thing. What can I do? Will this show be helpful for you to get your name out there? Who do we need to, how do we need to network and bring in to make that happen? So I'm excited about what we have coming down the line.
Yeah, and like you said, I think right now a lot of what you live in is theater. That's what we're both in right now. But there's
Hmm.
so much more that you've already done a great job of bringing to this show. Books,
Hmm.
other artists, poets. There's a lot in this lineup that I know that you're excited about.
I
And
am.
you mentioned it a little bit, but I do want to know, what are you most excited about for these other Black artists that you're going to have on the show, to talk with them, to do for them?
I want to talk about their art.
Yeah.
Most importantly, I want to make sure that that's the number one thing. I want to talk about their art. I want to talk about how where their art is and where people can get it, and if we can put it someplace else to help them, and just have a conversation about what it means to be a Black artist.
Yeah.
Whether you're an author, whether you're a playwright, whether you're a designer, what does that mean to be a Black artist? um, are you the only Black artist in your industry? Are you the only one doing what it is that you do? And if so, let's put you out there. Who do we know that that
Yeah.
we can get together and make it a thing?
I
Um,
love that.
so I'm excited to have conversations, um, and to build relationships, that will help us both, just get the art out.
Yeah, I'll say, as your producer, I think one of the most exciting things about this is knowing that, as much as this is to talk about being Black and being artists and being both of those things at the same time, a lot of
Hmm.
this is going to be amazing, getting to know people,
Yeah.
meeting people that maybe you are already connected to but haven't gotten to have that longer conversation with, or
Hmm.
as like Black artists in the field, names float around you, but you don't always get the chance to sit down with
Absolutely.
them. So
Absolutely.
it's
Yeah,
going to be great.
it is going to be great. I think that there are a lot of people out there that we don't know.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I would love if you knew, if you are someone, if you are artistically Black, if you know someone who is artistically Black that we should know, reach out to us and let us know. Send us an email, tag us on Facebook, so that we can make those connections and we can have these conversations, we can have these dialogues. So if you or someone you know is artistically Black and would be a great person for us to get to know, for me to make, I'm looking for new friends to have conversations with. Please shout us out. Let I want to know them, and I want you to know them. I want the world to know them. So let's get together and have a conversation.
Let's make it a community thing, y'all.
Let's do
Uh,
it.
Dannielle, this has been so great. It's so nice to hear about the direction that the show is going to go in. I have one last question for you that is a fun question.
Ooh, a fun question.
What is your favorite theater for young audiences show?
Oh my goodness. I could see this show 100 times and not get bored of it. I could listen to the soundtrack 1,001 times and sing along at the top of my lungs in a bad key. Um, my favorite TYA show is Seussical, the musical.
Amazing.
Um, I heart that show so much. It's fun, it's colorful, it rhymes, um, I just love the essence of that show. I love, the journey that Horton goes on. I love the journey that Maisie goes on. It's a show about people,
Hmm.
uh, but they're not really people. They're elephants and birds, and so I it's a fun show. It is my favorite TYA show. I think it's amazing. I think it's such a great show.
Wonderful. Well, we'll hear more about your favorites in all of our future episodes of Artistically
Awesome.
Black, I'm sure. Dannielle, thank you for answering my questions. It's so good to get to know you. I hope people feel like they got to see a little bit more of Dannielle.
Me
And
too.
according to Dannielle, I'll be back, y'all. So I'll see you at some point.
Thank you, Davinia, for taking the time to chat with me today. This was awesome, everyone. This is our first ever episode of Artistically Black with Dannielle Hutchinson. That's me. I am so excited that you joined us here. Um, Please come back second Sunday of every month. If you are looking for a show to see, we have Fairy Tales in the Sun at Adventure Theater. Please come out and see us. It's a wonderful collection of pieces. I encourage you to come and bring your family. Tickets are on sale now. The show runs through September 6th. Come sit with us in the sun and get your fairy tale on. Also, the Academy is running auditions for our pre professional company. Those auditions are in person on August 15th and September 1st. You can find all of the audition requirements on our website. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us via email or telephone. I have all of the answers for you. I would love to see you and your child at our pre professional program auditions. Also, registration for our fall classes for grades K through 12 is open now. You can see all of our class offerings. We're bringing back all of our favorites: Sing, Dance, Act, Broadway Prep, Bridge to Broadway, acting, and music and tap, and all of these things that you can come and take at our academy. Those registrations are open now. Please come if you have an interest in musical theater. This is the place that you should be. And lastly, if you find it in your heart to make a donation to us, you can visit us at atmtc.org to donate today. Thank you so much for helping us keep the adventure alive. And I hope to see you next time on Artistically Black. Thanks, everybody.